Welcome to The Weekly, an audio digest from Tab Media Group, featuring news and human interest stories from the Baptist Paper and the Alabama Baptist. New episodes are released every Wednesday. Subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts or visit us online at tabonline.org/podcasts.
Prolific author and Bible teacher Denise George has written an 8-part series for the Alabama Baptist about how Jesus prayed. We'll be sharing that series with you through the weekly podcast platform. This week's article, How to Pray Like Jesus Prayed, He Prayed for Others, is read by Robin McCall and Daniel Gilliland.
Throughout his ministry, Jesus frequently prayed intercessory prayers on behalf of others. His example teaches us how to carry the needs and burdens of others directly to the throne of God. Interceding for Peter. Jesus prayed for Peter within the earshot of the other disciples. Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat, but I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. Luke 22:31-32. With this prayer, Jesus promised Peter his ongoing support and commissioned him to encourage and pray for others.
Prayer for future believers. Before Jesus' departure to his Father, he prayed a beautiful prayer interceding for his disciples and for future believers. My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. John 17:20-21. His prayer, overheard by his disciples, showed his love, protection, and missional purpose for them.
Interceding from the cross. As Jesus hung on the cross, suffering an agonizing death, he prayed for his executioners, those who had nailed him there. Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke 23:34. This prayer, uttered in Jesus' greatest pain, revealed the heart of God, his deep love, grace, and complete forgiveness.
Old Testament models of intercession. The Old Testament is filled with intercessory prayer examples. Moses pleaded for mercy for Israel, begging God to be compassionate to the sinful people who had created and worshipped the idolatrous golden calf, Exodus 32:11-14. Samuel prayed for Israel. Then Samuel said, Assemble all Israel at Mizpah, and I will intercede with the Lord for you, 1 Samuel 7:5. Daniel confessed on behalf of Jerusalem, We have sinned. Look with favor on your desolate sanctuary. Daniel 9:5-17.
New Testament examples of intercessory prayer. The New Testament is also rich with examples of intercessory prayer. The early church prayed for Peter while he was in prison. So Peter was kept in prison, but the church was earnestly praying to God for him. Acts 12:5. Due to their prayers, God sent an angel to Peter who released him and led him out of the cell to the house of John's mother, Mary. Acts 12:1-12. Paul thanked God for the Corinthians for their prayers. You help us by your prayers. Then many will give thanks on our behalf for the gracious favor granted us in answer to the prayers of many. 2 Corinthians 1:11. Paul requested intercessory prayer when in Ephesus. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions. Pray also for me that whenever I speak, words may be given me, so that I will fearlessly make known the mystery of the gospel. Ephesians 6:18-19. James urged the church to pray in unity when he wrote, Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. James 5:14-16.
Here are some suggestions. When you pray personally, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians 6:2. One way to bear another's burdens is through intercessory prayer, going directly to God on their behalf. Pray specifically for the person by name, including details and desired outcomes. Pray in faith, approaching God with confidence, knowing that He hears and acts when we pray for others. 1 John 5:14-15. Pray that the person's prayers will be in line with God's heart and purposes, not only for their own agenda. The intercession of the believer is the voice of the church, crying to God with the mind of Christ, writes Dietrich Bonhoeffer in Life Together.
When your church prays. Scripture encourages unity through a church's prayers for others. God hears these prayers of intercession. Again, truly I tell you that if two of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them. Matthew 18:19 and 20. In Power Through Prayer, E.M. Bounds writes, "While the church prays, mountains tremble and kingdoms crumble." Create prayer ministries in your church, asking members to pray for the church family, local communities, and the world and its leaders. As the Antioch church did in Acts, pray for those in your church who make decisions for the congregation. While they were worshiping the Lord and fasting, the Holy Spirit said, "Set them apart for me, Barnabas and Saul, for the work to which I have called them." So after they had fasted and prayed, they placed their hands on them and sent them off. Acts 13:2 and 3. Teach church members how to pray intercessory prayers in their families and communities. Become known as a praying church that prays compassionately for the pastor and church leaders as well as for those both near and far. Hold intercessory prayer services to pray for the denomination's missionaries who share the gospel with the world. Pray also for those they minister to in national and global areas. Intercession is not only a cry for mercy, but a fellowship with Christ in his work of mediating grace, writes Andrew Murray in With Christ in the School of Prayer. When we pray on behalf of others, we follow Jesus' example and his teachings on intercessory prayer.
You can find the text of this article on our website at tabonline.org. Next week's installment will focus on how Jesus prayed for himself.
Thank you, Robin and Daniel. We love hearing you read through the article. And thank you, Denise, for writing on this series about praying like Jesus. It's an 8-part series. Denise George, here, an author here in Birmingham, Alabama. She has done a fantastic job. And if you haven't read those articles, you can find those at the alabamabaptist.org. You also can hear all of the articles read to you on our podcast, the weekly podcast, found online anywhere you get your podcasts, or the alabamabaptist.org. I'm Jennifer Rash, and I'm with Tab Media Group here with Maggie Evans and Grace Thornton, also part of the team. Welcome.
Woo woo. We give little whoops today.
So we're following along this series of articles, and we were just talking about praying and what is it like to pray for others and how to follow Jesus' lead on that. So it'll be neat to see how everybody does once they read this article and hear about it. All right, so that means there's 3, right? That was the 3rd of our series of 8. So there's 5 more, so stay tuned. We will continue reading those to you. And you guys, it's August.
I know. How did that happen?
Cannot believe it.
Seriously.
We are here.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like August. You walk outside and it's like August is in your face. But like
The heat of August.
Yeah. But practically, how is it August?
Right.
Yeah.
Truly. Like, I feel like it just became the new year. But like buying school supplies again, and I'm shocked. Just shocked. My kids are teenagers and going back to school, and the time is just flying, you guys.
It really, all the teachers in our families and friends are talking about what they're ready. They've started. Some of them have started. Some are about to start. But they're all ready for the semester. And like you said, the kids in our families, you get them all ready.
That's crazy. I have a school supply question for y'all.
Okay.
What's that?
I know you didn't expect that, but here it comes.
Tell me more.
Do y'all feel like school supplies are more specific than they used to be? Like, did you have that with your son, where like
100%.
Really?
like it used to be, you just generally get school supplies, like some markers, some
Like
pencils, some notebooks,
Yeah.
and it's like I would like for you to have 3 red folders. I'd like for you to have 1 yellow folder.
Oh,
Yep.
really? That's
Yes.
It really is. And my son, he goes back tomorrow. It will be his first day back. But like, I remember last year, because both my kids went to the same school last year. When they both came home with their school supply list, I was just like, I'm so sorry. Why do we need Like I had already pre-bought like a pack of binders and like I was trying to be like the prepared mom that
And you were.
I feel like I see on the TV, and I did all of that, but they didn't need any of the things that I had bought, and I had just bought very basic things like just some notebooks and composition books. But it was like we need a 2-subject notebook and a red folder, and then we need it was just that specific for each class.
I don't know. It's been, I mean, I don't have kids, but it's been difficult, like with our like ESL program, trying to give away backpacks for the kids because they have such a specific list that they need, and they don't really need all the other stuff. So it's like,
yeah, it's almost a waste.
Yeah, basically. Anyway.
Well, there's several churches that were taking up school supplies for the ministry centers in their areas in the communities. I wonder if you think they're just doing like what we said we thought we might need or thought they would need, and
maybe they can shop a little bit with what they have there and find stuff that they need to, with what they have collected. I don't know.
Truly, yeah. If they kind of have like a back to school shop, kind of thing instead of putting together the backpacks. I know that at my dad's a pastor, and at I think every year they do like backpack blessings, like back to school backpack blessings. Cool. Yeah. And I think theirs is more geared towards like food and things like that because it's more food insecurity, and that it's rural Alabama. Mm-hmm. But I wonder, but I'm sure they include some school supplies and stuff. I need to ask him and see if that's a thing for them, because I just assumed like this, because I have only been the parent of these 2 children, and honestly not for that long because they're adopted. And so I'm like, okay, is this normal? Is this what it's been for a while? And I just didn't know that. So I thought it was just kind of my school specific experience.
So again, I guess I'm thinking the churches that are wanting to help, they need to really make sure they're communicating with the schools then, right? Because think about the kids maybe that can't get.
Mm-hmm. That's what we finally had to do, was get some lists from the schools so we could shop for the lists instead of.
Right. Yeah. Because otherwise, I mean, there may be kids that will maybe potentially can't buy the items.
Yeah, and like that could affect their grade even just starting off, or it could put them behind say like, because Grace, you were talking about for the ESL program, if this is a kid that parents don't speak English very well, or they're learning now, and so the kid is the primary English speaker, like that's another, like that's a barrier. So this just adds more levels of complication onto I don't know, just everything. So it's just so churches, if you think about it, reach out to the schools around you. So
that's so interesting. Yes,
school supply rabbit trail. Sorry about that.
I love it. Well, I was just noticing on thebaptistpaper.org the article about a back to school block party in Texas. So I thought that was kind of cool too, thinking about going back to school. Women's Missionary Union of Texas partnered with Send Relief and hosted a weekend-long back-to-school block party. Now
that's quite the bash.
That is
kind of wild there.
Truly.
But what caught my eye when y'all were talking was the fact that they received backpacks and school supplies, and I have to wonder.
Yeah, I hope that it was like helpful things for the kids, or maybe if it was like a younger.
That's true. Maybe
younger kids.
Maybe
it's a little more generic. Gosh, I hope so. Y'all let us know. Anyone who's listening.
Yes. Well, 4,000 backpacks. We'll see what happens with the school supplies. So.
Truly.
All right. So, so back to school. The traffic's back. Yes, we're now starting to notice that.
It is.
And all kinds of, I guess, in church life, the promotions are happening. You're moving to the next grades, and all the little ones are coming up to the first grade, getting their Bibles. That's always fun. To get the promotion Sunday, I guess.
Yeah. Wait, did y'all get Bibles for promotion Sunday?
Oh yes, of course.
I did not get a Bible for
I didn't.
promotion Sunday.
Our church does it now, but I don't remember that being a thing.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Aw,
because we just lived in our own world.
Us here in our 30s and 40s, we did not receive that special treatment in our very rural.
Because I'm older than you too, so maybe
y'all brought it back.
Maybe everything old is new again, right?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
The millennials heard that they got left out, so they're bringing it back for the others.
Bring back this vintage tradition.
Yeah. They're like, let's give the kids Bibles again.
Yeah. No, instead of bringing it back, they go, look, we created this new idea that no one's ever done before. That's what I love.
Isn't that the way? Yeah.
Like, you think that. That's good. Go ahead.
That's so real. Gosh. But isn't it so true that like everyone's impacted by like back to school stuff? Like it's a grandparents are involved, parents, friends, if you're involved in ministry at your church, just like you said, traffic, getting to work.
Yeah.
Like everything whether it's nieces and nephews, you're getting pictures.
Right.
Like it's just it
First
impacts
physical
everyone.
photos, yes, on social media. Yeah. Well, and we had always every year the Back to Campus edition of the Alabama Baptist is always so popular, and so that's always fun. We now do it in a second section. It's really neat. I don't know if you remember how the newspapers used to come, where they'd have the main section, they'd have the sports section, the life section, the business section, all of that. So we're kind of doing that with the Alabama Baptist and the Baptist paper and the print editions. Yeah, so we got the Back to Campus every late July every year, and so it's a section all of its own, and all kinds of school related topics, and lots of opportunities for schools and universities, seminaries to just promote themselves. So we've done well with that for. Gosh, I think we've done Back to Campus at least 2 decades, maybe longer.
That is wild.
Getting close to 25 years. Yeah. Back to Campus. So.
Yeah, and it really does, especially now that we're doing the 2 sections in the papers. It feels very much like its own entity kind of thing. Like it feels like its own publication. Right. Because it's like in case if anyone's not visualizing what we're talking about, like it's like you have a newspaper. And then you put it in the middle of this other, and you fold it on top of this other newspaper. And so now they're just
I know. Wish everyone could see it.
And then you can pull them apart, and you have 2 papers, and it's just very fun.
Well, it's like at the breakfast table. I'll take that section.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Everybody has their own section.
Absolutely. You don't have to parse out pages anymore.
I know it, and I know it really is. I get this question a lot. Oh, well, you put it online, right? Well, yes, we do, but it is also in print. Wait. You mean you really do print it and mail it? Yes, I know.
When the post office lets us, we sure do.
Yes, some days they are not as speedy as we would like. But yeah, so we do have the print edition still that you can subscribe and have it mailed to your home. And if it does not show up on time, we do ask for you to contact your local postal rep to let them know, because that has been a new trick we're having to play here. So. Yeah. But so we come out every week with the Alabama Baptist and the Baptist paper alternating, so you can have a weekly newspaper. You find out more information at thebaptistpaper.org or thealabamabaptist.org. You can email subscribe at thebaptistpaper.org or subscribe at thealabamabaptist.org. And to find all the things. And again, I'm Jennifer Rash. This is Maggie Evans and Grace Thornton. We're sharing with you about different topics happening around Alabama Baptist life and Southern Baptist life and faith life and back to school.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just consumes all of August.
Yeah, all the things that everybody deals with, really, church people included. And so it's just running around doing all the things. All right, Grace, there was a cool story that you did recently, Worship Collective.
Yeah. That was cool. Not the story, that part, but
So Grace
the
is
story
a writer,
itself was cool.
And so that's why she's trying to be very clear that the story is fine, but the story
the story
is
itself
really cool.
is very, very cool.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, it's cool. Are you talking about the Shane and Shane Worship Collective?
Yes,
we had a couple worship collectives, which
both of them
complementary worship collectives.
Yeah, sure about both.
But no, it's really cool. I thought that was, I don't know, it was interesting talking to Karen Gosselin about that just beforehand, because she was just kind of talking about how there's been kind of a hole in worship ministry, just in needing more resources. There's been a little bit. Wow, I need to go back to school. I can't talk anymore. There's been a little bit of a gap, just having the resources that music ministers need, worship pastors to be able to pull together relevant music for the sermon, to know the theology behind what they're also communicating. It's not just picking up a hymnal and having a random hymn. Well, that's not bad, but to be able to have the theological training, to be able to look at a song and think, this is how this ties to the message of the sermon, and this is how we're going to work together to communicate this truth. Just really cool just hearing her talk about how that was a need, especially since there's so many bivocational music ministers in the state. There's so many who are just very wonderful, willing people who are my church doesn't have my church doesn't have anybody. I'll do it. I work a job, but I'll do this on Sundays. And so this is a way. So anyway, the Worship Collective started by Shane and Shane 10 or so years ago. Okay. And it's basically a platform online where people can get on there, worship pastors can get on there and find all those things. There's a search, database where they can look through stuff and see, like, this is what the sermon's about. Here are songs that connect to that, that passage or that truth or that concept, to go ahead and have that, and then kind of walks them through how to tie all that together. There's a bunch of different forums where they can talk to other worship pastors. They can get training, just a lot of stuff that's available. A lot of it's free. Some of it's behind a paywall, but there's a lot that you can try out before you get to that point. And so there's a lot available there. But it sounds like it's really good. It sounds like it's a really good resource. And I love Shane and Shane. They started doing a devotional where they just basically, it's probably like 10 to 15 minutes every day where you can get on, maybe weekdays. You can listen to it, and it's basically they play a song, and then they talk about that song and the passages that connect to it. And so it's just really, it's kind of just a short example every day of what the greater picture of what music ministry is doing. And so you should check that out too. But it's really cool.
That's awesome. I remember when Shane and Shane was not that, like, they were rising in popularity, but they weren't, the powerhouse that they are now. And when I was growing up in South Alabama, in Monroeville, Alabama, and where To Kill a Mockingbird was written, in case anyone wants to be impressed with the literary capital of Alabama.
I appreciate you throwing that in.
Yeah, no problem. You gotta throw that in for the Monroevillians.
I know we can feel we love being around you. We can feel the vibe.
Culture. But I remember when we had a D Now at my friend's church, which was First Baptist Church Monroeville, and Shane and Shane came, and and it was just a regular old D Now for this one county, and it wasn't a big crazy thing, but I remember they were so good then, but that was the first time I'd ever heard of Shane and Shane, and so just to from my youth, a couple of years ago. To now, it's just amazing, kind of how the Lord's really blessed their ministry, and I feel like I really love their, I don't know if anyone's heard their Psalms, their Psalms hymns.
So good.
They do these kind of a couple of different albums on, singing through a psalm, truly almost word for word, but it's really beautiful how they kind of pull out different things, and even in thinking about praying for others, and just this whole we started off our radio show talking about this series on prayer that that one of our writers has done, and that's at the alabamabaptist.org, and just even thinking about praying through, praying through the gospel, praying through what you read, praying through your day, praying through the conversations that you have. It's just kind of a really cool, holistic, I feel like Shane and Shane really fits in there with how they approach life and ministry, worship and everyday. And that comes through. I feel like that's a very wide and vague thing to say, but I really do feel like it comes through on their music and how they communicate, and even with bringing in a devotional that they do every morning, like you were talking about, Grace, that people can, engage with, and that's another level of community, and example. I just think that's really cool, and I think it seems like it's a big part of that's a big part of our Christian life, the community.
So good.
And staying connected to the Spirit.
And so the devotionals and all that you're talking about, are those, is that an app, or is it just a link that comes?
It's a link. Okay. You can go on, it's Worship Initiative I think I might have said collective earlier, and there's a worship collective too. But Worship Initiative, and they have a website where you can sign up for it. Okay. I can probably pull that up real quick and see what it is. But they'll send you a link every day as a text, and it'll just say, listen to today's devotional, and you can click on it, and it'll take you to.
So from way back then,
the
D-Nows.
Yeah, I know.
What they're doing.
From D-Now to texting your phone.
Every morning. Every weekday morning.
I love it. That's so good.
Gosh, it's so wild.
Well, speaking of music, Frank Jones did his Oasis at First Baptist Church, Trussville.
Oh, that's right.
Recently, and had Mark Lowry and the Lowry band. What does he call his band? The Lowry band, I think, maybe.
I'm going to look it up because I'm not sure.
And then there were a couple other groups there too, but they had 1,800 people.
That doesn't surprise me.
People love them. On a Thursday. That was fantastic.
Yeah. People
so
love Frank Jones.
Shout out to our buddy Frank Jones and his Oasis tour. I guess you could say now, decade-long tour.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like whenever one of our coworkers was, several of our coworkers went and had a booth and represented our publications there and everything because Frank is a good friend of ours, like you said, Jennifer. And when they said that Mark Lowry was going to be there, I was like, I have the exact picture in my mind of who Mark Lowry is. Like the outfit he was wearing when he was singing. Well, it was some parody about
the parodies.
The face.
Is it My Face in This World?
My Face in This World, yes.
Oh, how fun.
And, I remember his, oh, gosh, it's so crazy, the things. I just see it so vividly. I could sing the song right now, which I will not.
Same.
Yeah.
For the sake of everyone.
No, for this. Me. No. But, it is wild. But I just thought, it makes me so glad. It's same kind of thing with, Shannon Shane, Mark Lowry, Frank. People who have just been faithful all these years and just seeing the kind of people's stories weaving together and all these things. It's just so fun.
Yeah, that is neat. That's neat. It's kind of fun to know that we've seen them walk through the journey here. We've been part of their journey. They may not recognize us in the audience, but we've been there.
Oh yeah.
Well, my other friend Charlie Martin, who retired from a full-time minister of music, worship pastor kind of roles, is about to start some similar to the worship initiative kind of concept where he's going to start mentoring and helping churches that are more bivocational, or they've got a new person that's needing just a little bit of training, but they don't have opportunity to go to school, seminary, that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about that. And he and Frank Jones used to serve on church staff together.
Oh, that's wild.
And he's got 40 years experience, that kind of thing, and he's ready to start helping some of the churches that just need somebody to walk alongside them, not become the minister of music or worship pastor, or not being there even as an interim really, but just more coming in alongside.
Yeah.
So give a shout out to Charlie Martin as well, and when he gets started with his new effort, we'll share more about that. He's been working with us here at the Alabama Baptist and the Baptist paper to just kind of pull that all together and figure out how to get that out there. So he'll be advertising some in the publications and online. So be looking for that as well. So I'm glad to see there's a lot of effort, and the one in Sand Mountain is doing really well, right?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a similar need, I guess, in the same way that it's churches that don't have anybody to lead music, and so. Robert Reed up there is pulling together a bunch of talented musicians who just kind of want to help out, and so it's maybe a situation where they can't go and be the music minister, like you said, all the time for various reasons because they're plugged in where they are, but they could go for a few weeks and then kind of rotate out just to make sure that those churches who don't have anybody leading music have somebody helping out, and so it's kind of to organize that and prepare people too, so which is really cool.
Oh yeah, because absolutely that sustains a church in that time of transition whenever they're either looking for someone, or they could even not have a pastor at the same time because maybe the pastor was the music minister, because we all know our ministry leaders who wear all the hats,
right? So many do.
Yeah. So but just keeping a congregation encouraged while they're going through that hard season, what a ministry.
Oh, I know it. I love that. I love that there's just this new effort.
It does feel like it's all of a sudden there's a lot of people really
realizing what the need is and then stepping up.
Yeah.
And that's the whole calling out the called as well concept that's out there. And I love that we can be part of that effort through what we do, our content that we produce at the Alabama Baptist and the Baptist paper, that we can provide resources, we can point you to these different opportunities and efforts and the people who are trying to help and the availability of what they have and just how it all works. So I just love being that resource and that we can just walk alongside so many churches. We can walk alongside the ministry leaders and even just the individual person in the pew,
Oh yeah.
Just living life and doing what we need to do every day and trying to navigate everything. So check us out, the Alabama Baptist, alabamabaptist.org, thebaptistpaper.org, and we got print, we got digital, we got all kinds of stuff. So we will look forward to seeing you somewhere along the way.